Where do these lead, eh? An elderly man with an odd-looking eye sits on a stump as if he is waiting for someone. When you step into view, he bolts to his feet, holds his withered staff in the air, and bellows, "Life is about choices, and so I present to you another. To the left lies the sword of the gods, to the right the adamantine shield. Attack or defense, which is most important to you? You must surrender your giant slayer's sword to gain one of these powerful relics, but you can only take one. Which shall it be?" And then the old man disappears. Finally you realize what was wrong with his eyes. He had no pupils. Interesting. Alright, well, I am Circa. I don't have either of those things. Or I don't have the sword, so can't do either of those at the moment. Unless I somehow cheated. I don't know, is there a cheat to get the god sword or something? Or the giant slayer sword? Probably not. What's down here again? Oh, right, you. Next. Oh, he moved. He moved somewhere. Hi there. Yes, please. Hi there. Yes, please. Interesting, to say the least. Let them run. Casts the haste spell. Wand begins with each combat with 2 spell points and regenerates 2 spell points per round. Wand of weakness. Cast the weakness spell. The wand begins with each 4 spell points and regenerates 2 per round. Interesting. I'm going to go with the shield. The word on the gate reads, "Place the giant sword slayer sword on the pedestal to continue your journey." Sure. Would you like to exchange the giant slayer sword for the adamantine shield? Sure. You place the giant slayer sword on the stone pedestal near the gate. Immediately it and the tower itself fade into nothingness, opening a path to the land beyond. You meet a dying old man and agree to take him to his son's house where he can die with his family by his side. Unfortunately, the house is empty, abandoned for many years. The son is nowhere to be found, so you stay with the elderly man until he passes. In a final moment of clarity before he dies, the old man tells you, who treated him kindly, to take the adamantine shield. Sure. And then, if we do this... Excalibur... Whoa. Did I get it? Oh, I didn't get it. That's the barbarian throwing club. That's not 2 luck. Increases the melee range damage of all friendly targets by 20%. Excuse me? Does somebody have Excalibur? NWC Excalibur. Why is the game all wonky when I type that one in? That's not very fair. Lame. It doesn't let me have it. Maybe because of the fact that there is a Sword of the Gods on the map that the game goes, no, you can't have that, even though you're cheating to do it. Boo. Where the hell did you think you were going? Sir, you are fucked. I'll have you know. Good try, but die. Oh, so very close. Oh, good one. That's that one dead. That's them dead. Let's go, boys! Murder's back on the menu. So sorry. Get out of here. Oh, crap. You give me all this? Holy shit, you give me so much. Am I gonna sift through all this? Gives the ability to move all terrain. Well then, yeah. That wasn't a person, was it? Increases the range per thing, negates all the, and all friendly creatures also have no range penalties. Well then, yeah. Gives all friendly targets +3 morale. So many things. Okay. Taking this town. Buddy, you don't stand a goddamn chance. Hi. Wait, hold on. Why was that a thing? I don't really know, but hey, sure, why not? Come on! Come face me! Didn't stand much of a chance now, did ya? Okay, we got Tingakwe. Maybe in this place we can get all of the other things that I didn't get in the other place. So we get the statuary garden, the volcanic vent, and the hydropon. That way, all creature dwellings get represented. Right? That'd be great. What do you have? Crossbow. Alright, well. What does this one need? We captured this gate a few days ago. Only those who are loyal to our cause and find the green flag may pass. Well, that's some bullshit. Oh, is this the... Yeah, this seems to be the spawning nest thing, probably. If I had to guess. That's what I would probably say it is. Where does this take us? All the way down here. That's not that bad at all. Hydro pond. Get in the holy water. Get 4 hydras to join us. Sure, why not? Unfortunately, you have no room in your army for bandits. I didn't realize that this was a bandit dwelling, actually. I'm just trying to stop them from joining. There. Now you may join up with them eventually. Let's start building things. What's this? Interesting. We have a little bit more insight into these lands. Sure. Alright. What is this one? I'm sorry, the door only opens for one whose name is etched on it. I wish this tawny Balfour would come along soon. We're trapped here until they do. Well, I'd like to open the gate. Thank you. What's up, bitches? Oh, sure. I'll take them away from you. You don't stand a goddamn chance. No casualties. But you'll give me all of your shit. And I'll take this. I've captured Gorka. Oh no, we didn't get one of those things. Get the fort. They wouldn't do that. We will. Why not? Let's take you out, shall we? Hi there. Goodbye. Your gate's still standing. That's a miracle, I must say. Good job. Go on, keep trying. Oh, come on. That's fine. We'll kill you. Oh no, I lost a few. I lost 8 of my 3.5, oh, 21 actually, of my 3.5 thousand. Ah, shield. And a sword. I captured temporary? I usually try to keep a level head after a siege, and I never take part in the pillaging. Someone has to make sure the men don't burn the entire town to the ground. I was sitting on my steed watching the mayhem when Oba dragged Dirty-Faced Daring and a few other pirates from a merchant's home. Tempers exploded, and soon Oba and the others had their blades drawn. "Stop it!" I shouted, arriving the moment before the fight began. Immediately they lowered their weapons. "What's going on here?" Daring looked like he wanted to accuse Oba of some kind of injustice, but he bit back his words. A pirate doesn't let another settle his differences. I gestured toward Daring and the others. "Get away from here," I ordered them, and to Oba I said, "You follow me." We walked to the edge of town where no one would overhear our conversation. "They're going to burn the town to the ground," Oba said. "No, they won't, because they all know any who go too far will feel the sting of the whip," I responded quickly. I stood close to my first mate, leaning up on my toes so I would be eye to eye with the tall man. "Now I'd like to know if you're secretly fighting for the Mer Queen." "No," Oba said, shocked by my accusation. Do you have a mermaid lover or something?" "No. Why would you ask me these silly questions?" "Because you've been fighting my own men more than the enemy. I was just wondering if you've switched sides." Oba shook his head, stretched himself up to his full height so he could look down on me. "You have no reason to question my loyalty," he said. Softening my voice, I said, "Then tell me why my first mate is letting mermaids go free one day and practically killing my own men the next." Oba certainly didn't expect this question. He stepped back, scratched his short beard. Finally, he turned his back on me. "I do not wish to kill these people, these mermaids, anymore. They are not my enemy." "Then they are my enemy, which makes them your enemy too." Oba spun on me now. Now it was his turn to be furious. "Everyone is your enemy. When will it end, Tawny?" "You fight and fight. I thought the thirst for vengeance couldn't be quenched. But look at your taste for conquest and murder. It never ends." I clenched my jaw against his harsh words, and I said, "I'm only holding on to what is mine." "Another excuse. When there was no one to fight, you drove Pete Gurley to turn against you just to have someone to fight. All Pete wanted was a ship. You gave dozens of ships to men far less qualified, and then you flaunted it in front of him. You drove Pete to do what he did, and it got a good man like Arnott the Hairless killed." I drew my father's dagger and held it to Oba's neck. "You speak out of turn, first mate." Oba fell silent, but the anger didn't fade from his eyes. If not for the dagger, he would have continued speaking. "You're one to talk," I hissed. "Yes, I am one to talk. I know what you have become. I've been there, and look where it has got me, alone, tired and scarred." Oba held up his left hand. 3 fingers splayed out. The 2 puffy stubs, where his ring and small finger used to be, wiggled like bait on a hook. And then Oba reached forward slowly so I wouldn't flinch and touched the long scar on the side of my chin. "Do your job, Oba," I said firmly, "or I'll get someone else to do it." I took my knife from his neck and stormed away. But he still had to have the last word. "Tawny, I know why I kill," Oba said. I stopped, but I refused to face him. "I haven't had a family to avenge. Why must you kill?" Ooh. Okay. Get the castle. So I guess you're headed underground then, Tawny. My God, there's a lot of shit down here. I dreamed of the rusty mug last night. It had been so long since I've ever even thought about the bar where I grew up. Why would I dream about it now? And such a realistic dream. I was 7 or 8, my black hair in kinky pigtails, my cheeks smudged with dirt. I wore an ill-fitted smock frayed at the bottom where my mother cut the old garment so I wouldn't trip over it. In the winter, the dress was never enough to keep me warm. I hate winter. I was making my way through the mayhem of the bar. From the looks of it, several ships must have docked and unloaded their crew. Everyone was elbow to elbow in there, and I had to navigate my way through the sweaty, drunken men. One of them grabbed my pigtail, nearly yanked me off my feet. I winced but refused to cry. Crying always brought taunts and laughter from these rugged men. The sailor gave my hair another pull. This time I fell, and his friends wailed their amusement. I remembered their faces so I could spit in their drinks later, and then I continued to one of the tables in the back of the bar. There were 4 men at the table. I placed the 2 loaves of bread before them without meeting their gaze and turned to leave. I think I was the only one to see the attackers. 3 men charged the table with long knives. I froze. There was nowhere to run. I was knocked to the floor, stepped on twice as blades and fists flew above me. I cried, screamed for my mother, but she ran behind the counter where the owner of the rusty mug brandished a hatchet toward anyone who approached. I was alone, bruised, frightened, and laying between 2 bodies. Then someone picked me up by my hair. I screeched. Were they going to kill me for getting in the way, or maybe they were trying to drag me to safety? But no, the last surviving man from the table held me now. He pressed the sharp point of the blade to my stomach. Stand back, he shouted at the ambushers. 2 of the attackers stood between my captor and the door. Somehow I knew that's where the man wanted to go. You think that brat is going to keep us from killing you? I looked at my mother, pleading her with my eyes to do something. Instead, she escaped through a side door into the storage room. Tears flowed down my cheeks. Just let me down, my captor said. Or let me out, my captor said. You can take the map for all I care. So this was a fight over some treasure. It was good to know why I was going to die. If we let you live, said one of the assailants, you'll go telling everybody about the gold. No, you die here. I saw in the eyes of the attackers that they were prepared to cut their way through me to get to this man, and all over a stash of gold. You've got to admire a man who doesn't let anything get in the way of his goal, even a little girl. I wiggled against the steel grip of my captor, just enough to bite his forearm with all the strength of my jaw. Something stung my belly, a wound. I would find out later it was only a small cut. The moment I hit the floor, I rolled under the table as the ambushers descended on the man. When the killing was over, the 2 men quickly searched the bodies and uncovered a wrinkled parchment. The speaker glanced at me, winked. Thanks for the help, he said. If I get back this way, I'll buy you something. He never made it back to the rusty mug, and that night I had a lot of blood to wash from the floor. Okay. Random. It was late. Only the night watch was awake. At least I thought everyone was asleep until I found Oba sitting around one of the dying fires with a flask. He seemed determined to finish it tonight. Ever since our argument, our relationship had been strained. Dirty-faced Daring, at least, has noticed this friction because he has been trying to work his way onto my good side, probably trying to get his own ship or something. I would have to squash that ambition soon. I sat across from Oba and held my hand out for the flask. Reluctantly, he gave it to me, and I took a long drink before returning it. Your family has been avenged many times over, Oba, I said, picking up our argument where we left off, so why do you still kill? Without hesitation, Oba answered, I've been asking myself the same question lately. I have done it for so long I'm not sure I can stop. We each took several drinks, fueling our courage before we spoke again. You're a lucky man. You had something more once. I know nothing else. I feel like a shark. If I don't keep swimming, I'm afraid I will die, I said. Why did I tell him these things? I tried to tell myself it was the contents of that flask. You'll never know anything unless you stop, Oba said. Or anything else unless you stop. I can't, just like I can't look back. I don't like what I see. Oba nodded knowingly. Your father? He asked. Your mother? The rusty mug? How did he know what I had been thinking about? It was as if he had been in my dreams. I never told you about the rusty mug. Sighing, Oba said, I have been in your father's crew for a very long time, Tawny. I sobered in an instant, and I began to shiver. I wanted to ask Oba what he meant by that, but I was afraid of his answer. I, the Queen of the Gold Sea, and one of the most dreaded pirate captains in the world, was afraid. Interesting.